So welcome back to Project Monty. So what I've done, because this will deviate quite a bit this vid because we've got a bit going on. So it's not really a tutorial. I've never done most of the stuff I'm doing with this car, but I'm keeping a bit of a record on everything I'm doing, and hopefully what I'm doing will assist other people who are trying to do the same thing. So that's the original Fairmont boot garnish off my car. This is a spare boot lid off a car that's been wrecked. The reason I'm going to swap boots over, mine's rust free, completely rust free, there's nothing. On majority of AU Falcons, mine's got a little bit, nothing as severe as this, but there's a bit of surface rust on the edge, which is here, which is where the top of the lid curves down to where the number plate holds. It seems to be humidity it's causing it. There's no water that sits there, because this is obviously the top of the boot lid, so it seems to be humidity. Water probably sits in here. There's no rust through this boot lid, so I'm very lucky there as well. So yeah, a bit of humidity, surface rust there, which I'm cleaning up. I'm going to get rid of all that, rust proof it, and then I'll etch prime it. She's going in for paint next month to get done in my colour. And the reason I've done I'll swap boot lids over rather than using mine is this one's got factory pre-drilled holes or factory stamped holes for the low level spoiler, like the Tickford or the Series 2 Classic that I'm putting on. So this one was off a Futura and it had that spoiler on there. So rather than weld up the holes in mine, which is going to be this one, there's another one up here and there's another one there, so there's two for the mounting and then one for the wire to run through on that side. And that side there's the main hole on the right hand side there, and then there's another hole down here for the spoiler, the original spoiler I've got on mine to fit. I'm assuming these two little ones on the inner are guides for the new spoiler, but honestly once they're bolted on, there's no need for that, and then it runs double-sided tape all along to lock it on. So with this one, with this particular lid, cleaning up the surface rust inside there, just get rid of all that, rust proof it, and then I'll etch prime it. So because the boots and the bonnets are on the cars when the cars go through for paint, the underside of the mounting obviously doesn't get any paint or primer on it. So I've sanded back the surface rust on that. I'll put a bit of rust proofing on there, but as it's going for paint, I won't go too overboard on that because I'll sort that out. As for the hardware, so I'm going to undo all the hardware on this one. It's a pretty straightforward process. You've got your main wiring harness here, which runs obviously up to your boot actuator. Runs down through here and it comes out to this concertina flexible, what would you call it, flexible tubing, and then this connector here goes in behind the back window to your parcel shelf and plugs into the body of the car. So really simple. Undo the clip, holds it to the boot lid, then undo the number plate wiring plug, so that one will come out. This is a bit difficult with one hand on it, but anyway, so that's going to come out. That'll leave that separate, and I'll unplug that one there. Then I'll undo this. That wiring will pull right through to the boot, so that'll be free. This here plugs into that section there, so once this is unbolted, I'll undo that and feed that back through, and that'll all be one piece. Then I'll just give this just a quick little clean up before she goes in for paint, and get the spoiler fitted up to it as well. And then once I get it back from panel and paint, she'll go back on the car. So yeah, it worked out well. Seeing this boot lid on Marketplace, it's a similar colour to what's on the car now. It's not perfect, but similar, so that's going to help. But yeah, undo that grommet there, for the number plate lights. See, that goes right through there. So a little bit of work to do, and honestly not a heap, which is good. And this boot's in pretty good nick, except for that bit of surface rust through there, which I'm cleaning up. So once that's done, drop her in for paint and panel, get that spoiler fitted. So on the boot garnish, the back of the boot garnish, there's a rubber seal that runs across. So this is mine. So the edges come down to the edge, obviously, and this one, unfortunately, is busted off up here. So on the donor boot, off the garnish on that, she's all intact. So I'm cleaning this up. I've pulled mine off, and I'm going to clean up the residue of rubber and a bit of glue on there, and then I'll fit the good one to it, so that I've got boot garnish completely perfect. So there we go. So as I pull everything apart here and the wiring and that, I'll do another quick vid on how I've done it, just so everyone can see how to pull these things apart. And then obviously when I put it all back together, take the parts off my car and throw them on this one. I'll put another vid together on how I've done it all, but it's a pretty straightforward process. Like I said, undo the clips, under the wiring harness there, that stays on the boot. Then you pull out your park lights, undo these, unclip that. That'll feed through with that one piece, and then that wiring will feed through. So there's no need to pull all this apart and try to get the tool to unplug these little connections in here. So real simple stuff, which is nice, which I love about Australian built vehicles. They made them pretty easy to work on, so it's good. Right, cheers guys.